Jeremiah chapter 8 and verse 1. At that time, saith Yahweh, they shall bring out the bones of the kings of Judah, and the bones of his princes, and the bones of the priests, and the bones of the prophets, and the bones of the inhabitants of Jerusalem out of their graves. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, Bahasham HaRukakudash, double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone, peace and blessing to the elect of Israel. What you see before you is an example of Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 1. This is an example. This devil right here in the middle, this Edomite, this anthropologist, this archaeologist, this social scientist is reconstructing the faces, or has reconstructed the faces, of two Israelites. Because Esau, he dug up skulls in En-Gedi. He dug up the skulls of two Israelites. This is an Israelite man on the right side, and this is an Israelite woman on the left side. So he's reconstructed their faces. And you see that these faces are the faces of so-called Negroes, not of so-called white people. So this is just more proof, proving that the so-called Negroes are in fact the Israelites. Because see, here it is. You did all this research and you're a carnal man. You got what you wanted. You got the truth, and you found out the real Israelites don't look like you. They look like us because it is us. Because see, your whole life, you Edomites have been living a lie. You've been taught that you are white. You've been taught that you are the real Jews. But all those are lies. It's all a damn lie. It's falsehood. Now I have this article here, and you brothers remember this information because it's not new, but through the Spirit I'm bringing it out anyway. This article is off of Haaretz, which is Israeli news. And this is the article. How white were the Israelites? Yeah, hey man, I gotta read that again. How white were the Israelites? They weren't white at all. Okay? This is an example right here. Look at these facial features. Look at the lips, look at the eyes, the noses. Come on, the cheekbones. How white were the Israelites? Facial reconstruction may be surprising. Israeli anthropologist claims the subjects of the kingdom of Judea looked more like black Africans. Which we are not Africans, we are Hebrew Israelites. The people that came to the Americas on cargo slave ships were in fact Israelites. And this article is dated November 14th, 2008. Like I said, I know you brothers remember this information. No one knows how the Israelites and the Judeans looked, or which people they would most closely resemble today. Hey, that's Esau for you. You know who they are. You know how they look. Bible stories and historical essays from the Second Temple period offer a relatively few descriptions of the Israelites' physical appearance. Whatever descriptions do exist can be interpreted in countless ways. The skeletons uncovered at archaeological digs throughout Israel provide only partial information regarding the appearance of early Land of Israel residents. The accepted assumption has been that early Hebrews resembled the people now living in the Middle East or the Mediterranean basin. However, an Israeli anthropologist researching the question has now made a surprising claim. The subjects of the kingdom of Judea in the Second Temple period looked more like black Africans. This theory arose after Professor Yair Ben David of Tel Aviv University conducted the first ever facial reconstruction of its kind. See, you devils know the truth. But see, you want to run from the truth and hide from it. So you want to be carnal because you're not spiritual. You have to be carnal. So you have to dig things up from the earth to see if it's all true. Even though you know it's true, you don't want to accept it because this doesn't benefit you devils. Us being the Israelites, the real Israelites looking like us, that doesn't benefit you. The research conducted with scientists from the Russian Foundation of Fundamental Investigation was published in the German journal Anthropologist. Anzeger. Ben Yair used the skull of a male from the Hellenistic period and a female from the Roman period that had been discovered in the Dead Sea region. The researchers reconstructed gaps in the skulls and inserted false teeth. They measured the skulls and reconstructed the soft tissue based on earlier research. Using cutting-edge technology, they created two statues they say are quite accurate representations of early Hebrew man and woman. Not surprisingly, the appearance of the man is very similar to that of today's Middle Eastern man. No, the hell it ain't. That man look like a so-called Negro. He doesn't look like a Edomite. He doesn't look like an Ishmaelite. And he doesn't look like a Hamite. He looks like an Israelite. Okay? I have family members that look like this, okay? You know, hey, look at the nose. Look at the lips. The eyes. Okay? He doesn't look like today's so-called Middle Eastern man. Because, see, Esau, he doesn't want us to be the Israelites. It hurts him, man. Because, see, if we are the Israelites, that means that the Bible's true. That means that the promise that was given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is true. Okay? So many points go along with that. We still have the blessing. We still have the birthright. And that hurts Edom. So you devils are full of lies. You're the father of lies. Okay? The researchers concluded that he belonged to the Mediterranean branch of the Caucasoid group. That's a lie. Scientific terminology for what is known as white. Another lie. Because you invented a race. White people, that's an invention. You're the Edomites. Okay? This guy in this picture right here, this man that reconstructed the faces, this dude is an Edomite, a devil. However, the woman's appearance was quite surprising. The man's appearance too. She has a large mouth with a protruding upper lip and a full lower lip. She has big lips or thick lips. The nose is also prominent with a low bridge. These and other findings led the researchers to determine that while the reconstructed woman was also Caucasoid, you devils can't help but lie, she had equilateral or equatorial African characteristics, which not African, Negroid, or you could say it just Israelite characteristics, because we are the real Israelites, okay? We are the real Israelites. So she had equatorial Israelite characteristics. She was not Caucasoid, and the man was not Caucasoid. You devils are full of lies. Okay, another website here. It's called failedmessiah.com. See, you devils, see, you don't believe in the Messiah. You don't believe in Yahushua because Yahushua is not for you, and he's not coming back for you. He's only coming back for us. Now, this article is dated January 18th, 2009. Black like me? Question mark. Because the real Israelites are people of color. Israeli researcher reconstructs ancient Jewish faces, which is pretty much going to say the same thing as the last article. Okay, you can look all this up on your own. Okay, yeah, they're saying Mediterranean features with African traits. No, that's simply how they look, because that's who they are. Okay, so-called Negroes. Like I said, man, you devils can't help but lie. Black Like Me, Israeli researcher reconstructs ancient Jewish faces. I have 2 words to say about this groundbreaking research: jungle fever. That's Esau being the devil. The word devil means deceiver. Esau was saying that the ancient Israelites looked like Edomites, but they just mixed with dark-skinned people. So he's going into his spell of lies. He hates the truth. The ancient Israelites were people of color, because we are those people. Tel Aviv University researcher reconstructs ancient Israelite faces, and they have the link there. And this was printed, or this article was made January 18, 2009. Okay. Now it says, Professor Eugene Kobylansky keeps 2 busts in his office. One represents the face of an average male Jew in ancient Israel from 332 to 37 BCE, or simply BC. The other is a composite face for Jewish women from the ancient Roman era, 37 BC to 324 CE or AD. It's like looking into a time machine going back 2,000 years to visit these people, says Kobylansky. Kobylansky of the Sackler Faculty of Medicine at Tel Aviv University is the first researcher in the world to provide facial reconstructions of what Jews looked like in the land of Israel before their exile into the diaspora. Before the diaspora by the Roman Empire, or from the Roman Empire, which was around 70 AD. Okay? You know, that's when the Israelites fled Jerusalem. They fled the land of Israel. They went into Europe. They went into North Africa and West Africa. And they went into Asia. Using bone measurements collected from skulls at Jewish burial sites at En Gedi near the Dead Sea and the Jordan River, Kobylansky created plastic molds on which to base the facial reconstructions. The technique was made possible through a unique forensics lab in Moscow at the Institute of Ethnology and Anthropology of the Russian Academy of Sciences, which uses the most up-to-date software in anthropological facial reconstruction to recreate facial features from craniums with about 70% accuracy. And you see how they look. You see the facial features, the man and the woman. Mediterranean features with African traits, and this is where they go off. The skulls of a male from the Hellenistic period and a female from the Roman period were reconstructed. Based on its facial reconstruction, the male skull might have belonged to the large Mediterranean group that inhabited the area from historic to modern times. And they're going off. The female skull also exhibits all the Mediterranean features, but in addition, there are probably some African traits as manifested by the shape of the nose and face. Damn devils, man. Lying. This woman certainly had some African intermixture. No, that's just how she looked. She was an Israelite. Kobylansky explains, we know from history and the stories of King Solomon that there were Ethiopian Jews in Israel. Going off. In this particular female, we see some African traits, but maybe she was absolutely white in color. There go the lies. It's impossible to say. Hey, like I said, being the devil, man, impossible to say. One problem that has always plagued students of Jewish physiognomy, from saying that right, Salakia, has been the lack of representation. While Egyptians, Romans, and other peoples in the near Middle East region were well represented in art through painting and sculpture, Jewish custom, like that of Islam, dictated that human beings, especially holy figures, not be represented in form or image. Which we did have images, we just didn't worship them. Okay? The scriptures say how, we would abide many days, without a prophet, without a king, without an ephod, without an image. Okay, so we had certain things, but we didn't worship them. Okay. We made paintings of ourselves, just like Jake is in the art today. Jake made paintings of themselves during the Middle Ages. Okay. But the point is, man, this truth is coming out. I'm not going to read the rest of that. They're just going into how the ancient Israelites didn't make images of themselves. That's the point on that. Okay. And this is the original article right here. Okay. The original facial image of biblical Jews from Israel. E. Kobyliansky, T. Balueva, E. Veselovaskaya, and B. Ahrensberg. Anthropologist and Zager. Okay, and this was printed in June 2008. I got as many pages as I could, just to run through this. Same thing I basically already read. Okay, they're talking to you about how they reconstructed the faces of the man and the woman. Okay. And they go into the history, of how the Israelites, beginning with our father Abraham, he was in the land of Ur, of the Chaldees, before he came to Canaan. Originally, the Israelites were dark-skinned people, okay? And still are, even though we're mixed up all around the place. We're basically saying the same thing, going back during the time of Abraham. We was in Babylon at first, before we went to Canaan. And in Canaan, there were heathens all in our land, okay, before we conquered our land. And they're, telling you about, the Hellenistic period, the Roman period, and the Byzantine period, because, these researchers believed the man, he belonged to the Hellenistic period, and the woman belonged to the Roman period. Like I said, I'm just running through this, and see what they want to say is we mix with people of North Africa and people of Mesopotamia. But no, man, we just simply looked dark-skinned to begin with. Jeremiah 14:2. Yeah, and they're talking about different time periods, different diasporas, different captivities. Okay. Now, to run through this, they're talking about the description of the male skull. I'll read some of this. Description of the male skull. The skull of the man who lived in the 3rd century BC is mesocephalic, of medium size with a strongly expressed relief. Its facial height and width is middle. However, the facial profile is sharp. The zygomaxillar angle is 120 degrees, and the nasomolar angle is 136 degrees. Notably, the vertical profile is prominent. The middle facial angle is 88 degrees, i.e., the skull is orthognathic. However, the bisgomatic diameter is of average size. You know, they're using all these different scientific terms. Okay, but they're describing the skull. Okay, and saying how his skull most likely resembles those of the Israelites in the Hellenistic period. Yeah, and they're basically giving the measurements and the calculations of the male skull and the female skull. Esau's a carnal man. You know, and they talk about the reconstructed man's face. Okay. They go all into detail on it. All right. You know, I'm just running through this, man, because this is the original article. I'm not reading it all, but just so you can see it for yourself. You can see it. Yeah, they're talking about his nose is prominent, long, and the nasal bridge is high. But he was an Israelite, though. And this is the skull here. Okay? You dug up our graves, damn devils. And you lying. Frontal view of a male skull from En-Gedi, Israel, dated from the 3rd century BC. And it looks like a male skull. And this is the bust. And that's the features, man. Look at his face. He doesn't look like an Edomite. You see that? But then, you know, Esau, he's going to lie. He's going to keep lying. They love lies. You know, because, see, they want to say that these people are from a Caucasoid group. You know, but, yeah, man. This is the female skull here. Okay? That's the female skull. They tell you her skull is from En-Gedi also. Okay? You know, it says dating from the beginning of CE, which really is AD. So the Roman period. Okay? During the Roman period. And there's her face. Well, you know, the bust of her. You see that she's a so-called black woman. Look at the lips. You know, but see, Esau, of course, he's going to tell you lies. And not just the lips. Hey, look at the nose. Look at all of this, man. You know, so you can't get around this, you damn devils. Sculptural reconstruction of the female form. So-called black woman. Yeah, you know, telling you about the different time periods. You know, they believe that these different skulls had to, you know, basically be around during that time. During those dates. Yeah, but like I said, man, Esau, he's the father of lies. Because, see, they tell you all that to tell you that these people are Edomites, which is not true. Okay? Yeah, hey, man. Yeah, they tell you about, they're talking about the woman, right? About, let me read here. It says, having a set of the features of an alveolar part of the face enable us to reconstruct a big mouth with a high and prominent upper lip and plump lip blooms. The chin is prominent, high and narrow, protruding well out. In contrast, the ears lie close to the head. You know, basically so-called black people features. You know, it'll tell you about how she was around during the Roman period. You know, but see, that's the point right there. There's really no further need to read all of this. Like I said, Esau is carnal. I'm just showing this pretty much just to show it. And this is the conclusions of the man. And Esau is lying. You know, they're talking to you about how the man looks. Okay. Described all his different features. You know, but hey, that's Esau for you. That's Esau. You know, these people did not belong to any Caucasoid group. But I'm going to read this. It says conclusions. From the data received from the male skull and reconstructed face, we assume that this individual belongs to the Mediterranean branch of the Caucasoid human group. A damn lie. The face is characterized by medium-sized cheekbones and forehead, as well as a small mandible. From a frontal view, the face is oval with a sharp horizontal and vertical profiles. The projection of the eyeballs is prominent. Regarding the eye fissure, its direction is horizontal and its length is large. Eyebrows are of medium width. Their outline is straight. Notably, the nose is prominent, long, and the nasal bridge is high. The occlusion represents a deep bite pattern. According to the available data, the man had a wide mouth with a low and prominent upper lip with slightly swelling lip blooms. You know, hey, man, we have dominant features. Based on the description of the skull and the reconstructed facial peculiarities of the woman, we may conclude that she certainly belongs to a Caucasoid group. That's a damn lie. However, with some original features of an equatorial group, the following anthropological traits confirm this: a high nasal index, a low semotic index, as well as a alveolar prognathism. At the same time, this person had a very original beauty characterized by a combination of European features, damn lie, with southern equatorial ones considered plump, basically with so-called black features as well as a distinguished nose with a low nasal bridge, strongly developed prognatism, a rather big mouth, and plump lip blooms. Hey, man, you devils are done. You know, your lies are running out. We see right through them. Okay, this is basically the rest of this article here. I printed off as much as I could. But you see the point. Like I said, there's no further need to get every single thing. You know, I got pages that are pretty much all over the place. The point is, Esau, Edom, you're done. Okay? You've been found out to be the devil and Satan, and your kingdom's going down. You going to slavery. And then you got to be put out the earth. Okay? We found out through the spirit that we are the real Jews. And the real Jews don't look like you. These are not the real Jews. These are not the real Jews, okay? This is a damn lie. You parading yourself around as us. You're getting exposed, okay, by your own people. Your own people are exposing you. That's the point. With that, I want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kal Halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Ha Rakakwadash, double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone, peace and blessing to the hopeful elect. Shalom.